And here we have the last and fourth and final bookshelf. Rest of my read nonfiction, my graphic novels, books, some books from my childhood. I actually don't have a shelf for my childhood books yet. Some coffee table books, my German books, my Spanish books, and some other languages, and then my travel books and my language learning books. Yeah. So real quick, I'm going to show you the stuff that's on top of the last fourth bookshelf. We have my Sailor Moon clock that I've had as a kid. I was obsessed with Sailor Moon as a kid. The colors my favorite colors growing up were red and purple because of Sailor Mars, who literally was like, I don't ever feel like, you know, when people are like, oh, that character's me. Like, I have two characters in my whole life that I've ever felt that way about, and one is Sailor Mars, Ray. So this clock, I don't have any batteries in it, so it doesn't do anything, but it would glow in the dark, and I've just still kept it all these years. So also on top is I have this letter H made out of an old book. This is actually from, my mom made these for my wedding showers. For a wedding, there's a really cool one downstairs, this decoration that shows a man and woman dancing. So this letter H, my married last name starts with the letter H. And so I just absolutely love these, and these are books that were gonna get torn up anyways, so to keep them around as art is really cool. Also on top, I have a tarot deck, the Rider-Waite Tarot, which is like considered like the first basic and beginner deck. I also have a little guidebook for it. And then I also have just a little deck, an oracle deck. So yeah, so that's all. Oh, and then I have a piggy bank that my sister gave me. I'm adopted and my biological family is from Arkansas. And so my sister, when I was younger, had been back there a couple times, but I hadn't. So when I was a kid, she gave me this piggy bank, which actually sucks because you can't ever get the coins out. I remember, I mean, I know the whole point is like when you're ready, you're supposed to break it, but like, I remember being really frustrated with that as a kid. So yeah, so those are all the things that reside on top of this bookshelf. And finishing up with my read fiction, we have two books by Scarlett Thomas. We have The End of Mr. Y, which I thought was just okay, but the first book I read that I really loved is Bright Young Things, and I just love these editions too. They're so gorgeous. And this is about a group of young things invited to spend time on an island for money, and things go crazy and secrets are revealed, and kind of like, and then there were none, but not really. Really, really good. Simple, but it's a really quick read, like big text and everything. Excuse me. But yeah, really, really good. Next we have my other 5-star read from Eugenides, which is The Marriage Plot. Now this is about a girl in college. She's in love with one guy, but her friend's in love with her, and that sounds really dumb and trite and kind of like, but it's kind of like a take on like a modern classic, and everything, which is really cool. So I'm not into Jane Austen. I'm not into all those like classic romance. I don't know, every once in a while it'll be okay, but this is kind of like a modern take of that. But it's really interesting. It deals with mental health, and I just thought it was really well executed, and I think he did a really good job of writing women and this girl's situation, whereas with the virgin suicides, I thought that was really awful, and I think it's still really awful that a guy wrote that. But yeah. Here come two series that I've talked about a lot, so I will not go on and on, but we have the Captain Prince trilogy, queer, adult lit, adult themes, adult lit. We have book 1 and book 2 and book 3. So Captain Prince, Princess Gambit, King's Rising. I reread these this year because I was in a reading slump. They're so good. I will not go on and on about them again because I will never stop. And then we have the Foxhole Court trilogy with the Foxhole Court, the Raven King, and the King's Men. Books 1 through 3. This is queer YA lit, and it is absolutely phenomenal. This and Six of Crows just blew my mind with YA lit, and I know that to not give up and to really just keep searching through it because there are some amazing stuff out there. This was self-published, so I read it on a Kindle first because these are white books and I didn't want them getting destroyed. me carrying it around, so I read it on Kindle. I think the first book is free. And then, yeah, just absolutely phenomenal. We have Invisible Monsters by Chuck Palahniuk. So good. I heard of this book only because, well, he wrote Fight Club, which I haven't read, but because there's a Panic at the Disco song called something. And they said that this book inspired their song. So that made me pick it up, and it was so good. I read it on audio, and it was just a ride from start to finish. Like, the summary does not begin to tell you what's going on, and you're kind of confused the whole time, and it's so good. I just read this recently, The Crimson Petal and the White by Michael Faber. Very, very good. Definitely worth the 900 and something pages. Just a good story about a prostitute named Sugar, a 19-year-old prostitute of Victorian London who yearns for a better life, and her one of her customers gives her that better life, but you know, everything comes with a price, and there's caveats and there's secrets, and I just thought every character was so interesting. And again, like, normally, even if I like a big book, I say, oh, it could have been shorter. This, I think, was absolutely perfect length. We have the Bellwether Revivals, which I've already talked about, should be a companion piece read with The Secret History, both college things that happen, again, the kind of two sides of the same coin. They talk about the same concepts but approach differently, and very, very differently, and I just thought it was absolutely brilliant. Like, this, so good, and actually made me love The Secret History more. I just think it's really great. So if you like those pretentious college novels where bad stuff happens, and yeah, it's so good. And then the final book is The Bunker Diary by Kevin Brooks. Now, I said that, oh, and this is by Benjamin Wood. I said that The Collector scared me for a week, and this scared me for about 3 days and made me really sad. And so this is also terrifying, and this is YA lit, which I did not know. So terrifying. This guy gets kidnapped, he wakes up in a bunker with other people. All they get is pen and paper, hence his diary, and food. And then something really awful happens, and I mean awful, like something that you don't really think about in kidnapping stories, that terrified me to my core. But yeah, so that is my read fiction, and I counted, there's 112 read fiction, and this is not including books that I've read on Audible that I've finished, but just don't have physical copies of, including, same goes for my Kindle. So I think it's really cool and really awesome, and I'm really, really proud of my little read collection. Yeah. So that was my read books. As always, I mean, in all these sections, please comment down below your thoughts on things, and yeah. So there's some trinkets that reside on my shelves, but not at the very tippy top. And that is, there's a little pride flag, and I have two bookends. So I have Aristotle that my husband got me, and I have Homer. And then I have a Slytherin snow globe that I begged my sister years ago to buy me in San Francisco. This shop had it, and I love it. I love it so much. Well, one, I'm a Slytherin. Two, Harry Potter was a big part of my childhood, even though I can see flaws in it now. And it plays the song. Not only does it do that, but it plays one of my favorite songs, because we all know that those soundtracks slapped. It plays the song when they enter the Great Hall. So I'm not using my tripod right now, so I'm not going to play it, but it's really awesome. And then the last thing that is up here is my signed playbill. I went to New York this year to meet up with friends and to see Armie Hammer's play. This was his first play, and it's on Broadway, and he did so good. And I got to meet him. I met him twice, and he was absolutely so sweet, so nice. I talked about it in my New York video. He literally is hands down like one of the nicest people ever. He signed everyone's everything, and he talked to everyone literally like 20 seconds. So when you have a bajillion people wanting to talk to you and meet with you, 20 seconds to be spoken to and listened to, and you know, I just kind of said like one or two things, but you know, in the group that I was in, I wasn't one-on-one speaking with him for 20 seconds because I realized he had a lot of stuff to do, but he was just so sweet, and so I got it signed, and everyone else was really good too. Didn't get that guy. He didn't come out either night, so that kind of sucked, but whatever. I was there to see Armie and to support Armie. This guy was on The Office, season 1, Paul Schneider, and they were all just so good, and it was really cool getting to meet them too. I was there primarily because I was excited for Armie, but I was also so impressed by the performances of literally everyone, and they were awesome. And the play was good too. It wasn't some weird preachy thing. It was actually really well done, and really well thought out. So yeah. We have On Tyranny, 20 Lessons from the 20th Century by Timothy Snyder. So good. So annoying how history repeats itself. But this was literally really good. The Lost City of Z by David Grann was so good too. Like, this flew by too. And I'm not gonna see the movie because, like, why? And I don't think he was supposed to be that hot either. Like, Charlie Hunman or whatever is playing him. And just an explorer, like one of the best explorers who eventually did go and disappear too with his son. But just about the time of everyone wanting to explore and coming back with their experiences and everything, it was amazing and fascinating. The Sociopath Next Door. Really good. I don't really remember much about this book, to be honest, but I read it, so. Mistakes were made, but not by me. Why we justify foolish beliefs, bad decisions, and hurtful acts. Jekyll on Trial, Multiple Personality Disorder and the Criminal Law. And a book that really, oh, the pride flag! A book that really changed my life was The Art of War by Sun Tzu. I took a Chinese philosophy class in university, and this was amazing. One of my favorite philosophical texts, and just absolute brilliance. All about how to go to war by first trying not to go to war, right? Which should always be the goal, you'd think. And now, on to the rest of the nonfiction. We have Freakonomics by Stephen D. Levitt and Stephen J. Dubner. And we have the sequel, Think Like a Freak. I haven't read the Super Freakonomics because I just am not interested. The first one was really good. The second one was okay, but very fascinating. They explain economics to you with real life events. So for someone who's not really economic, that's not really like something I get most of the time. Really well explained and fun. So that's nice. Now we have my favorite, oh wait, no, not this one. We have Plato's Complete Works. This is what I used in college. So I keep this one. It's very close and near and dear to my heart. So yeah, Plato's Complete Works. It's just, obviously the cover is missing, but I'm pretty sure I got this at a secondhand shop, so was not buying my school books. Krakatoa, I talked about him in this book earlier, The Day the World Exploded, August 27th, 1883, so it's about when Krakatoa exploded. The volcano, that was the word I could not remember earlier. Too long and a little bit boring, but very good. Also by him is The Professor and the Madman, A Tale of Murder, Insanity, and the Making of the Oxford English Dictionary. So good. One of the best books ever. You think it'd be boring, it's not. It was so good. I recommend it to a lot of people at work. We have, oh wait, I'll show that one later. We have another book from my school. When I was in school, this was my textbook for international law. And international law is something that always confuses me really, like, big. Like, one of my majors was political science. So my majors were philosophy and political science with a minor in German studies. And poli-sci was okay, but I was really only there for the philosophy. And international relations confused the hell out of me all the time. And this was just, I thought, a really well done book and textbook. So it's dense and it has my notes, but it was important enough to me to want to keep it. In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. Very good. All the President's Men, the greatest reporting story of all time. This is about Watergate, which can be confusing, and I thought that this really broke it down really well. The Concept of Law by H.L.A. Hurt. This was used in a philosophy class with probably the greatest professor I've ever had. I had a lot of good professors, so I went to a really good school, if I don't say so myself. The philosophy department is just bomb. Like the bomb, like amazing. And so, as you can see, I took copious notes. I have this highlighter and pen system that I've used all throughout school. I have food allergies, so that's what this book's for. A complete guide for eating when your life depends on it. Scott Sickera. Taking care of your fertility, the definitive guide to blah 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 whatever. One of my friends at work, she just had a baby, and she was like, here, like, take this book for when you guys want to have kids. So that's on my shelves. And then another food allergy book, because your girl has allergies. Another food intolerance book, How to Do Management Plan. My allergies come and go a lot. I'm allergic to like peanuts and stuff like that, but there's other things that affect my throat and body and stuff, and so every once in a while I have to kind of like research it, if that makes any sense. This is a book I had as a kid. Really important gymnastics book. It's got Nadia Comaneci, Dominique, and it's just Mary Lou Retton. It was really big. I have a tub of books of my kids' books, like my Nancy Drew series and stuff, but those aren't going to go out yet. Those will go up one day, but probably not in this room of mine. But these are just a couple ones that I stumbled upon when we were moving that I wanted to have in this room. And tucked away here we have Dark Dreams by Royal Hazelwood and Stephen G. McCloud. A legendary FBI profiler examines homicide and the criminal mind. This was really interesting. I always am, I mean, I do like true crime, although I've toned down a bit on it because a lot of people are really weird about killers, even though they're like really awful people. So I kind of took a step back from it because of that. But something that still interests me is the creation of the FBI and how they went about forming a system and profiling serial killers and killers, because it relates a lot to psychology, and I have an interest in psychology and how the mind works, and there's a lot of really interesting aspects to it. But yeah. We have Doomed to Repeat, The Lessons of History We Failed to Learn by Bill Fawcett. Very fascinating stuff. Really liked it. And then we have Torture, The Instruments of Torture by Michael Kerrigan. I have My Lovely Wife in the Psych Ward, a memoir by Mark Luhek, and mine is signed because I went to this charity event and he was the guest speaker. It was a mental health charity event, which I attend I've attended I think 2 or 3 times now. The Brain That Changed Itself by Norman Doge, I always want to say. Stories of personal triumph from the frontiers of brain science, about like plasticity and what you can do to have your brain continuing making layers and how people can recover from things, and how brains are really quite remarkable and are always working to get us back to where we were. So don't give up on that. Patient HM, Story of Memory, Madness, and Family Secrets by Luke Diedrich. This book was a disappointment. 1953, a 27-year-old had a seizure, and so nothing worked to eliminate his seizures, and they ended up taking too much of his brain because the whole thing was like snip, and so it's a book about that and him, and it was just kind of disappointing, a little too long. Under the Banner of Heaven by John Krakauer. He wrote Into the Wild, which I thought was an absolutely dumb story. This kid just decides he's too cool for capitalism, goes out to the wood, and ends up eating rotten berries and dying, even though he has a family that loves him. This is about, though, a woman and her infant daughter were murdered by 2 brothers who believe they were ordered from God to kill them. Being Mortal by Atul Gawande. This is about medicine and not being afraid to die and care for the elderly and how we can approach it differently. The Ghost Map, the story of London's most terrifying epidemic and how it changed science, cities, and the modern world by Stephen Johnson. I read this in college. I also read this in college, The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander. Mass incarceration in the age of colorblindness. So we had slavery, then we had the Jim Crow laws, and now mass incarceration of Black people is the 3rd wave. So that's fun. Smoke Gets in Your Eyes and Other Lessons from the Crematory by Caitlin Doty, about someone who works in the crematory and her experience with it. Crazy Like Us, The Globalization of the American Psyche by Ethan Watters. I read this and it really did not leave a big enough impression on me for me to finish reading it, but I think it's important, and who knows, maybe one day I'll want to revisit it, but as of right now, case is closed with this book. The Cold War, A New History by John Lewis Gaddis. So good. Another book where if you're like confused about the Cold War or anything, read it. It's phenomenal. Another book I didn't finish, but It's too pretty to get rid of. Look at how pretty it is. The Periodic Tables, A Cultural History of the Elements from Arsenic to Zinc. I have not found a book. I tried to read The Disappearing Spoon too, and I have not found a book about this that's not just boring as hell. This one's by Hugh Aldersey Williams, and it's so slow and boring, but it's beautiful, so I kept it. And then one of the first nonfiction books I read since getting back into reading, Dead Man Walking by Sister Helen Pugine, about a connection she makes with an inmate, not a romantic connection, just a connection she makes with an inmate on death row. This is a movie cover, but it's really interesting because it looks kind of like a book cover, a regular book cover. Very, very good, very good. And that wraps up my read nonfiction books. Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 20, 21, 34. So that is 34 read nonfiction. Of course, I think I actually read more nonfiction via audiobook than I do physical books, because a lot of times they're big, but I do actually prefer reading them if I can, just because I like making notes, and you're learning a lot when you read nonfiction. So yeah. So I decided to include in this section my coffee table books, my plays, couple kids books, and graphic novels. So let's get started. I have this coffee table book, Crime Investigation, The Ultimate Guide to Forensic Science. It is what it says. Then we have Forensics, The True Crime Scene Investigations Do Not Enter by Dr. Zakaria Ertsinklioglu. Yeah. And then we have a really cool one, Signs and Symbols Sourcebook, an A to Z compendium of over 1,000 designs. So literally every symbol you could possibly think of, and then it explains its history. Like, how cool is that? Really cool, huh? Then down here I have one more coffee table book. I have a little philosophy guide thing. And I have the Deutsches Museum in Munich, which is really cool coffee table book. And I actually think we went there. I can't remember if we went or not. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, because it's been a couple years since we went to Germany, and we see a lot of museums because we love them. My memory is not the best. Then I have 2 kids books. We have Kim by Rudyard Kipling, and I have Inkheart, which is a book that I also have in German that I still haven't read, so I should probably get around to it. And that's by Cornelia Funk. Here I have another book from school, and this is for like my intro something constitution class. And so this has a bunch of interesting texts with notes, so like the Bill of Rights, it has like Brown versus Board of Education, because we were talking about one's cases that influenced and changed and prompted change in the in American law and the Constitution, just like I said. I have an American Girl doll named Addie, and these are some of the books I have that goes with her. Addie Saves the Day, Addie Learns a Lesson, and Meet Addie. And she's tucked away carefully with all my other good stuff. This is from my childhood. It's got my name engraved on it. Yeah. It was a gift from my parents to me after I was baptized in like middle school or something. This I hauled recently. It's just a bunch of text from the US Constitution and other writings. I think it's important to always have this, no matter what country you're from, your law, and to know all of the texts and everything that your country was founded on. I think that's really important. And then this is a little holy Bible that I was given as a kid from my parents. It's got a cute little lamb on it when I was a kid. So now onto plays I have Goethe's Faust. Oh, but this is a dual reader, and I don't keep it with my German just because... Actually, I don't know why I don't keep it with my German. I should actually move that. So that's going to be fixed in post. Yeah, so it's a dual reader of Goethe's Faust, which I have yet to read. We have Richard II, which I have yet to read. And we have Titus Andronicus, which I have yet to read. So we have, now you guys know I don't like poetry, but this was really pretty, so I picked it up one day. And it's poems by William Blake. Who knows when I'll get around to reading it. I'm very skeptical. I'm never impressed by poetry. And then we have The Pillowman by Mullen McDonough, which is a play which I have read, which is really creepy and really good. My favorite play, besides Hamlet, is Equus by Peter Shaffer. So good, I would love to see this live. We have Crucible by Arthur Miller, which is not like a super favorite of mine, but I got this book for free and it's a Crucible. We have Happy Days by Samuel Beckett. And we have Hyperbole and a Half by Ali Broche. I have not read all of this, but she used to have these comics online, and there were 2 stories that made me laugh so hard I cried. And so when I saw this, for free, I also swooped in and picked it up. I have a bunch of other manga, but I can't remember if I got rid of them or not. I don't think so. I think they're with my kids' stuff, because this is like, you all know, this is like middle school. The only anime and manga, oh, well, not even the manga, just the anime I've kept up with over the years is Naruto and now Boruto, which is phenomenal and literally been watching for over 10 years. So there's Gravitation. It's gay, it's queer. Yeah, long time ago, but I actually have reread this series multiple times and it's still funny to me. So that's why I have it up here. We have the Contract with God trilogy, Life on Dropsy Avenue, by Will Eisner. I don't even remember what it's about, but it really intrigued me, so I got it. We have Stitches by David Small, and I don't even remember what his deal was either. It's been a while since I read it, but yeah, he has a rough family life. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna put that right there for now. We have Goliath by Tom Gould, and I'm so mad that I like got something on the book cover because it's all white. So what can you do? And it's literally just the retelling of Goliath, where Goliath is actually friendly and like doesn't want to fight anyone. And as someone who grew up in the church and like things like that, like biblical stuff, like even if you don't go as an adult, I feel like it always sticks with you, the stories and everything. So I really loved this. We have From Hell, which I tried to read, but the text is so small it hurt my eyeballs, by Alan Moore and Eddie Campbell, and it's supposed to be creepy. It looked creepy, and I'm guessing it is creepy, but look at this text. It's so tiny, it hurts my eyeballs, so I don't know, I need a magnifying glass before I can read that. We have Violent Cases, written by Neil Gaiman, illustrated by Dave McKean. I'm not really impressed by Neil Gaiman, he's just not my thing. I read Good Omens, didn't care for it. I could have, like, I read it and I was like, it's okay, but I wasted, I feel like, some time reading this. But this is a graphic novel, so I was like, oh, I bet this will be a nice quick read. Then we have V for Vendetta. We all know about that, by Alan Moore, David Lloyd. I've read the movie, I've seen the movie a couple times. It's alright. We have Mouse 1 and 2, which I just recently talked about because I just recently read them. And then this, which I did not haul, and I'm not going to, but it's new because I'm not doing a book haul this month, is Meta Mouse. So and I love meta. I love meta. So meta is like analysis of a text or of a show or a movie. I love reading meta on stuff. Like every time I see a movie or I'm watching a TV show, I love people's takes. And so this is that, but on mouse and like, oh, there's even a CD. I didn't know that. And a look at where he pulled stuff from and has interviews with him. And it's really cool. And it's gorgeous. So, I think that will make me be able to appreciate the text more, which I did. I didn't think the story, which I feel bad saying because it's true and it's about really harsh stuff, really horrible stuff. But, I wasn't all that impressed with the story, but, the drawings and the details in the art I was really impressed by. So I'm sure reading that will just increase my admiration for that. So yeah, so those are my plays, my graphic novels, some kids things, and my coffee books as well. Okay guys, we are about to embark on the final part of the bookshelf tour. I hope you've been enjoying it because now it's nighttime. Now the lighting is not as good, which, whatever. I'm warm, I'm tired, my neighbors won't stop looking at me, and now they can really see me because I don't have curtains in my library. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. No, I know, I'm having a great time. It's really great going through. Now we're on to my favorite section. Well, that's not true, I love all the books. But the most exciting section to show, which is my foreign language section. So there's gonna be a couple books in Spanish and some other language, and then it's my German section, which is awesome. And then I'm gonna show briefly the language learning books and tools that I have and have used and am using. And that'll be it. So I thought about showing my video game guide books that I have, because as an adult, every time I get a video game, I get the guide. I know that they're pointless, but I think that a lot of times I have really beautiful art and stuff. So I could show that, but I don't know, I don't think that's necessary. Never mind, I'm not going to show that. Without further ado, the final book of my bookshop tour. Comment down below, and yeah, also I'm not going to say the English translations of books because there's only 2 people I know that follow me and one of them knows what they mean, and the other one can just look them up. But I don't know of anyone else that actually really cares about the English translations. So yeah, and some of them you'll be able to guess because they're the same as the English ones. So I hope you enjoy, and I will see you, well, I won't see you at the end, but I hope you enjoyed the whole experience. And yeah, have a good time, guys. Welcome to the new year. Bye. So we're going to start with the one Russian novel I have. My language goals are Spanish, German, and Russian, and I don't want to be able to speak Russian because I don't think I'll ever need it, but I would love to read it one day. And I got this book for free, which was pretty exciting. So this is Phantom by Joe Nesbo, and Phantom. My go-to is always pronounce things the German way, and I don't remember. But it's, the cool thing about Russian is that it's very literal, so like Phantom, me saying Phantom is basically accurate, and then the author is Joe Nesbo. So yeah, that's really the cool thing that I've learned about learning Russian, is that it's so phonetic. Like, so I can spell out and read a lot of words, which is from the get-go, which is dope. Now we have my Spanish books. We have Cien Años de Soledad, 100 Years of Solitude. I know I said I wasn't gonna tell the English translations, but whatever. Gabriel Garcia Marquez, you probably could guess that. My goal with Spanish is to be able to read this one day, but I do want to be able to speak Spanish, even though the way I talk will prevent me from ever speaking Spanish correctly, but I can't let that get me down. Un Crimen Dormido by Agatha Christie. Jurassic Park, but en español. Fun fact, I have Jurassic Park in English, German, and Spanish. I've already read it in English. And then this should be... And then I have my Easy Spanish Reader, which the reason why it's not with my language learning is because it's, you're reading little text and answering questions, so I have that up there. And here's another Spanish reading tool, Better Spanish Reading. There we go. Next I have, oh, I forgot a Russian book. So I have Russian Folktales in a Dual Language Reader by Sergei Levchin. Yeah, it's been a while since I've brushed up on since I've dabbled in Russian, so. Okay, now we have my favorite section in my foreign language section. I'm so excited. You guys already probably know this. Oh, just kidding. Fairy tales in Latin. First. So first I have, my German section. I have a Dein Spiegel, and this is for kids, so Spiegel is means mirror, but it's a popular newspaper. Yeah, Der Spiegel. So this is a kids one, the junior edition, and I had a different German friend, not Zena, at one point, and they were really kind enough to send me this, and they even sent me like candy and gummy bears, which is really good. And so I've kept this, of course. This is a little thing that it's a catalog for a popular, like how we have like publishers and stuff like that. Of course they have publishers too, and so this is a popular one. So this is a catalog of books you can buy from them. Ooh. So I just keep that there because I think it's cool. Die Bibel, of course. Natürlich. Der Richter und sein Henker from Friedrich Dürrenmatt. And I have this in English, and I showed it here. So it's the Inspector Barlock series. I did show it in this video. So I have it in Auf Deutsch too. Die Physiker by him as well. Really good. A play about like 5 different types of doctors and physicians, and it's pretty funny. Artemis Fowl by Jon Kofler. I hated this book, but I read it for German language skills. It was awful. I did not like it. Oh, they're making a movie. So for all you Artemis Fowl fans, although I heard that there's so many issues with the casting and whatever, Die Tote in der Bibliothek. I don't care for Agatha Christie, but I think mysteries, I read a lot of mysteries in my German language class in university, so a lot of that vocabulary is familiar to me, like crime and stuff, and they're entertaining enough reads. So even though I don't care for her, it's whatever. Der Junge im gestreiften Pyjama. I read this year. It was a reread for me, but a first time reading it in German, and now I never want to read it again. I'm done with this book. It's so good, but it's so, makes me so sad. Bauer Gals von Ham. I read this. I will talk about it in my wrap up. It was just okay. I really hated every single character. They're all horrible people. But this is the only J.R.R. Tolkien I will read, because I will never read the Lord of the Rings series or The Hobbit or anything like that. I tried to read The Hobbit and I couldn't stand it. And I just don't have an interest. I'm really not a fantasy person. A fantasy first person. So if I'm not feeling something in fantasy, I have no inclination to pick it up. Pompeii by Robert Harris. Das Orchideenhaus. It's so pretty. Lucinda Riley, sorry. I don't remember if I said that. And Pompeii, oh yeah, I did. Verheißung by Adler Olsen. And this is like, it's, yeah, so it's Der sechste Fall for Karl Morg, or whatever that is, his last name is. So this is like, this is number 6 in, why can I not think of what it's called? Like a detective series. The Dienstag Abendclub. And so it's 13 cases. They all sit around this club and they tell each other mystery stories and see if the other one can guess who did it and what's going on. I started reading it and then I just put it down. Die Toten Tänzerin by Max Benthoff. Passagier 23 von Sebastian Fitzek. Bildung von Alles, was man wissen muss, Dietrich Schwanitz. Die Buchdiebin von Marcus Zusak, The Book Thief. Murder Hotel, I'm sure we can all guess what that is, by Wolfgang Hofbein. Das geheimnisvolle Grab von Harlan Coben, and I can't remember if this was YA or not. It follows a young teen, but I don't remember if it's considered YA. Ich darf nicht schlafen von S.J. Watson. Erebos from a Polish author. So you post. And then we have Murder Park by Jonas Winner. And Die Falle von Melanie Rabe. Dieses Buch ist für ihn. And yeah. Then we have another Agatha Christie, and that's Das Geheimnis der Goldmine. And then we have Die Geschichte von Zeb by Margaret Atwood. That's like the Creighton Onyx series or whatever that she has going on. Euphoria by Lily King, which has the same name in English. Am Ende des Schweigens von Charlotte Links. Die Flüsse von London by Ben Aronovich, The Rivers of London. I actually really enjoyed this, but I just put it down for a second. This might be my next German read, though. Because I was only 15 pages and I really liked it. Russen Disco von Vladimir Kamener. Die Chefin von Petra Hamesfall. Die Löwen von Aquitanien by Tanya Kinkel. She's a big historical fiction author. And this is kind of like a 50 Shades of Grey type of story, but I thought it'd be really fun to read. So there's 4 books, or 3 books in this series. Calendar Girl by Audrey Carlin. She needs money for something, so she decides to, I think, like, get a sugar daddy or something. But it sounded really fun and silly, and yeah. Game Over from Philip Kerr. Die Päpstin for Donna Cross, another historical fiction author. Der Nazi und der Friseur, Edgar Hilsenrath. Some of these words I've not encountered in a while, so I apologize if they're pronounced wrong. Dino Park, Jurassic Park. Oh, actually, could you guys see that well? Yeah, Dino Park. And then just making sure that these are shown really good. That's kind of an ominous cover, huh? And title. Schneewittchen muss sterben, Snow White must die by Nell Neuhaus. And this is another like criminal series. I don't remember if it's standalone or not. We have Das Parfum, Die Geschichte eines Mörders. I showed this in my unread section in English. The Perfume Story of Murder by Patrick Suskind. Die Name der Rosa, Umberto Eco. Name of the Rose, that's pretty easy to figure out. Das Tagebuch der Anne Frank, that's easy to figure out. Der Hahn ist tot by Ingrid Knoll. Oh my gosh, and here we have maybe the greatest book I own in my entire collection. Are you ready for it? We have Romeo und Julia, das Buch zum Film. So, yeah, book to film. Leonardo DiCaprio. When I saw this, I had to pick it up in this used bookstore like ASAP because Leonardo DiCaprio was like the love of my life when I was a kid. He was just, to me, like the best looking man ever. So he was my middle grade crush, and this movie is literally a classic. 1996, Romeo and Juliet. No other Romeo and Juliet adaptation will ever come close, could ever come close. And if you have not seen this movie, please, it literally has everything. It's a perfect movie. It's the, oh, and this movie is the best, I think, book to film adaptation I've ever come across. The second one would be Shutter Island, as the movie is literally like book to film, like word for word. But this, in terms of just everything, it's everything. Nacht über den Wassern by Ken Follett, who wrote that big historical fiction series I talked about. Wie es euch gefällt, As You Like It, by Shakespeare. This is a zweisprachige Ausgabe, so it's a dual reader. And Shakespeare. I bought this when I was studying abroad in London many moons ago. This has a bunch of German stories. This is also a dual reader. So, got a bunch of famous texts. Tintenherz, Inkheart by Cornelia Funk, which I mentioned, again, I own in 2 languages and have not read. Die Häupter meiner Lieben, also from Ingrid Knoll. And this is the books that this little catalog talked about. So these are really, really popular in German. They also have these yellow ones, but I don't remember what they're called, that are actually so like unfriendly to the eyes. I got rid of all of mine because I was like, there's no way I'm reading this. But yeah, so this is the little catalog for these books that you see. And now we're going into my language learning stuff and my travel books. So I'm actually going to show just my travel books, and then I'll briefly show, but I'm not going to pull out every one of my language learning tools. If for some reason anyone wants to actually see them all, I'll do a separate video on that. But this is, you know, I feel like that could be something separate for language learning tools, but I will show all my guidebooks. So these ones I just got. Let's see, we plan on doing Scotland. And when we go to Scotland, we're gonna see Edinburgh and, so I got an Edinburgh one, and Glasgow. I didn't get a one for Glasgow. I figured Glasgow would just be in here. But at the store and online, I found a really good one for Edinburgh, so. Then we'd be going to London, which I studied abroad in London, but I think it's really great. I don't want to miss any cool ideas, and usually these guidebooks have really cool ideas for you to do. We're going to Germany. Every time we go to Europe, which we hope to go every other year, we plan on stopping by Germany. This is the one we used when we were there. last time. But the one I got that's new is Berlin, because we are going to Berlin first. We'll start in Berlin and we will end in München, Scotland, London, and Germany. And yeah, so this is just a quick show, a slow showing of my language learning. Lots of Deutsch books, some Russian, of course, and some Latin and some Spanish. And then down here, these are ones that I take in my bag. Every other day I'll go to a cafe and just study a bit. And these are the ones that are currently in my bag. And I really love these German flashcards. So I know I said I wasn't going to do an end video, but I changed my mind. I hope you guys really enjoyed the bookshelf tour. If you really do want to know more about my language learning books or the video game books that I have, like kind of things that aren't really pertinent to my channel, I guess, or what I normally talk about, yeah, just let me know. But I hope you really enjoyed it, and I really do hope you leave comments down below of things that caught your eye on any number of the parts or videos that I upload of this. And whew, I finally have like a really cool visual catalog of all my books. I'm really excited. So yeah, and all of you guys that have uploaded bookshelf tours, thank you so much. I really enjoyed them, and I know how much effort and time goes into them. I figured before that there would be, but now doing it myself, I really am like, whew. But yeah, so that's awesome, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.